Hey everybody, welcome to this live stream about Daylight Protocol. We got our friends the Greek here and Mayday. How's it going, gentlemen?
Oh, it's going good.
Yeah, everything's great
Uh-oh.
over here. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, well, I wanted to get a live stream going for Daylight because there is like some amazing stuff happening. Um, like phenomenal stuff. I don't see our names on here, so I'll just let you know my name's Freedom. I've been kind of around the Vulcan Seifu scene for a while there on some of the live streams, and now here we are with the Greek and Mayday talking about Daylight today. So, for everybody that doesn't know, Daylight had a big AMA this morning, and I'm pretty sure there is a recording of that in their Discord. So I would totally recommend checking that out. Mayday here, I'm sure took some good notes from that as well, right, brother?
I've got them sitting open here.
All right. Well, how did both of you feel just about that AMA today? Any thoughts there? Initial thoughts there, Greek?
Yeah, I loved the AMA today. First of all, I'm in the long farm. I have a bunch of Daylight token.
Yeah.
And I love the new stuff they're doing with Apollo. I'm also invested in Apollo, and it's interesting token for anybody who doesn't know. It cannot go down in price. It only goes up. And there's
Yeah.
different mechanics. I don't fully understand the back end how that's possible, but it is possible. It's backed by BUSD. And so far it has been going up and to the right. So it's doing what he states.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it's definitely a different mechanic than most people are accustomed to. I think a lot of the history of, DeFi is people wanting these moonshots, these 10, 20, 50 Xers that they can write home about, right? So when they hear about a token whose price can't go down, they get, a little suspicious, which they should be. You should be suspicious of everything in crypto, right? But a lot of people come in expecting, oh, I'm going to get a 5x out of this in 3 weeks. It's like, no. This is a slow burn. It's going to be a long burn. And like you said, it's going to go up and to the right. And you can either jump in and hang on or, miss out on another winning opportunity.
Well, and so for anybody that's not kind of aware of Daylight, the Daylight Protocol launched their token, which is DAYL, and it had me very interested to begin with because it has an ever appreciating floor price, which is very different as well than basically pretty much any other token because what's happening is on every buy sell transfer there's a portion of the taxes that is going to keep raising this floor price. So basically there's this amount of BUSD that is there that cannot be touched, that's ever increasing, so that even if everybody sold, there would be this certain amount that you would always be able to get. Unlike technically with other tokens, if they go to zero, you pretty much, it goes to zero, right? Anybody have that happen to them before? I don't...
if you have not been part of a rug or one of those projects in this space, then more power to you. But I don't know one person, and actually it builds character. It's like you get christened in the space when you've had one happen to you.
It really is a baptism by fire. But I can honestly say I haven't been rugged, knock on wood, on any project I've been in. I've been in some of those, like, you invest in them and then they lose 99% over a couple months. But I've thankfully avoided like all the scams and things.
Those are kind of more painful. Like when you're rugged, at least it's just like the band-aid's ripped off and you're like,
yeah.
The last one was Hourly DeFi. That one. I knew that was a gamble play, so I knew it was going to rug. So it was one of those, how many days in a row can I put my money in? And the third day got me. So I kind of was laughing and it was just like, oh, okay, there was $50 I can't get back.
It is almost worse when it bleeds over time because you spend every day going, should I cash them out? Should I reinvest? Should I dollar cost average? It's just, death by 1,000 cuts.
Well, my worst by far happens to have been named Freedom Protocol. And they were on BSC and doing okay, and then they were like really quickly launching on ETH, and I was like, me and a friend were like talking about it. I was very suspicious of how it was kind of gonna happen, but I'm like, but if this does what it could do, it's one of those. So I actually like got my credit card, bought a bunch of ETH, which is like the worst thing you can do, right?
It breaks all the
then
rules.
it rugged in like days, right? So and I still have the Freedom token in my. I just wanted it for the Freedom token, you know, but.
Is that why your name's Freedom? Please tell me that's the reason. Because that would be a cool story. Like I named myself Freedom to remind myself of my first rug, you know?
No, I bought the Freedom token because my name was Freedom.
Okay, okay.
But anyways, yeah, it's painful. So even for it's one of those things for even any Daylight Protocol people that have been in since pre-sale, you know, the Daylight price right now it's down. It's probably about half of the our pre-sale price or so.
Yeah, it's at
But
30 cents now.
yeah, but for me, I haven't been too concerned about that for a couple reasons. And I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, many of us investors are just looking at the chart, don't really understand what's happening with the project and everything. For me, number one of the things that I really, well, in Greek, you mentioned it already. One of the things was that I did get in the long farm and also the MDB plus farm. And those two farms have been putting out like a really good daily return on investment. Now, if you aren't cashing that out, you're still kind of looking at your overall, the prices kept dropping a bit. So you can be, you know, if you're not aware of it, you can be a little concerned, right? And that's like very natural. But to me, the whole thing with Daylight is that their price is going to be built on all of these utilities that are coming out, right? So I already knew that they were going to be the first launch pad for the Vulcan blockchain, right? And when projects launch on there, there's going to be a percentage of fees that goes back into Daylight, right? Which raises the Daylight price and everything. And then they also have the launch pad on BSC that there's already some projects, a bunch of projects being launched on, and then more that have been asking to launch as well. So all of those things kind of feed back, right? And that's one reason I just haven't been too concerned about the price right now. But I'm an investor, right? I always think it's worth like being aware of what's happening, right? And you know what I mean? Like if I see a price going down, I do want to check out the Discord and the Telegram and kind of get a sense of what's happening, right? Are they working on things, you know, that are going to actually help this, right? And that's that's the case where if you're in this AMA today, you know Daylight is working on a ton of stuff, right?
And that's one of the things you said when I first got in, everything I understood that there's a whole bunch of stuff in this ecosystem that feeds into the Daylight protocol. So it's not just like Daylight was the first piece, then it was Apollo. Now you got the Apollo launch pad that's going to be getting projects and that's going to be feeding more into it. So this is just the start. So like, and really when you look at the market in general, I mean, every single project I'm in is suffering from the same thing, it seems like. So it's not just a Daylight thing where the price is going down and to the right. But this one's actually held pretty well considering all the factors, and they're building their whole ecosystem. So I'm excited to see once projects start launching on the Apollo Launchpad and everything comes to fruition. That's when it gets exciting.
So this is one of the big things that I always tell people who I'm helping get into crypto, as much as friends who have been in crypto for 6-9 months a year. A lot of what I'm looking for going forward in projects is I want things that have actual business case use, as though it was a real company outside of the DeFi space. And Apollo hits that on the head as like an incubator from like a traditional finance market, or, you know, like a technology incubator or whatever. So the fact that, I don't know if you heard Ted say today, they were looking at 6 or 8 different projects with potential to launch from the launch pad in February. That's a big number. So when people complain about, you know, sure, Dale's bleeding down to the right a little bit, but there's always that take profit after the launch and the price spike. If he launches 6 or 8 projects in February, we're going to start going up to the right, not down to the right.
Right. And the other thing is that, as we've kind of talked about, Apollo, the token, has only went up, and it's actually went up quite a bit already. And what happened with the, I guess it was the buyback, or was it the buyback? Like the first buyback from the tax, a part of that goes towards daylight. That raised the price like 10%.
Yep.
Right now we were at a low price. So, but it's just imagine, for example, this new, the Apollo Galaxy that we're going to talk about here tonight as well. Once that starts kicking in, and there's fees going through the ecosystem, plus the Apollo daylight farming, people are going to be buying more Apollo, buying more daylight, right? And farm it. So all of those things are going to be feeding back into the daylight token, right? So it's and that's, I think that's what that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've listened to Ted on a lot. Ted's the CFO, right? CMO?
CFO, I think. Well, maybe not.
Chief Technology Officer? What are you?
Maybe
he's the guy in charge.
I think he's CMO, but he's essentially one of the co-founders. I've listened to and also done AMAs with him, and he knows what he's talking closely.
About. He's very, 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 very bright. Me and him are on the Seifu Council together. So being in meetings with him, just brilliant,
right?
Bright, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not just saying this, okay, because I'm invested in one of his projects. You know, there's good stuff going on in his brain. It's and he's always thinking. He's always a thinker on how to make things work. So it's really good.
He's got that, you know, he's got something inside of him, like just who he is, that he wants to deliver these projects. He's not a scam dev who's looking to make money. He's got tons of his own money. Like, he doesn't need our money to live a good life and to be wealthy. When I speak to him one-on-one, or we're just, you know, hanging out and shooting the shit, he genuinely is just thinking about ways, like things he can do to augment the platform and bring more money to everybody. He really is selfless. And I think that's rare in terms of, like, a lot of developers don't have that attribute. It's generally just a cash grab on a lot of things, and that's how a lot of people end up getting burned, you know.
And I like how he's out there in the Discord answering questions all the time. He's put his face out there. He was on my channel with Prado when they signed when Daylight became a partner with Vulcan for the blockchain. He was on he did an hour-long AMA where he showed his face, which was very impressive. You know, a lot of people in the space don't like showing their face, or you know, he showed his face. He was answering questions. He did say they could do about 6 to 8 projects a month for Vulcan at that time, like truly once they get the Apollo Launchpad running. And then he confirmed the same number today. So that's why when somebody says something twice and it's the same, that's how you can tell it's truthful. So I'm interested to see once everything's up and running. That's why, like, people are worried. You know, I see some comments, you know, the returns are lower than expected. Yeah. Let me bring up the comment.
Yeah, bring up some of those comments, because we can discuss that.
So Jaime Garcia Prieto, one of my longtime followers. I'm in Dale Long Farm, and not only the return is much lower than expected, but the price has taken a huge hit. What's your expectations in terms of recovery? And my expectations is now Ted's starting to get all the pieces in place to put what his vision is. And if it doesn't work after that, then we can start to maybe throw the panic button. But we got to look at the market too. This is not.
Yeah. Well, it's not the best market. And I'll just bring that down so we can see our friend here. But yeah, so why so bullish? It's like less than half. Well, that's the whole thing. It's kind of what we talked about. The thing with Daylight is they're not going out there and just paying all these marketers to kind of shill just to get a pump and everything, right? It's more about like from listening to Ted and kind of watching, how this ecosystem is unfolding. It's really about building a like a true wealth generation is what they say, but like a sustainable thing, right? So like Greek said, the biggest thing is for them to, for example, they did the Apollo token. That's already bringing some people some good returns. Now, similar with that one, it hasn't really taken off yet because there hasn't been too much marketing into it. And honestly, the Apollo Galaxy, I think, is more the marketable side that is going to bring a lot more people in. So do you want to, Neil or Mayday, do you want to talk about the Apollo Galaxy a little bit, just so we get people? We've kind of mentioned it, but we haven't really talked about what it is, and we can just get into that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll give the quick rundown, the quick summary that Apollo Galaxy is, for lack of a better phrase, it's another daily ROI platform. And I know a lot of people and a lot of my friends are going to be rolling their eyes at that because they've made money on one, they got burned on the next, they made a little bit of money on the third one. It's been a bit of an up and down space. But Apollo Galaxy is going to do things a little differently because they're using the Apollo token itself. So a lot of these daily ROI platforms suffer from the, first people in, they get to ride the price spike from 1 to 100, whatever the numbers may be. They cash out, they make tons of money, they're happy. But it's all the people who follow and they buy on the way up, and eventually they buy the top, and then the price goes down and never recovers because there's this wave required of new users to keep pumping that price higher and higher. So there are only so many people in DeFi, and there's only so many people you can sort of funnel into one, daily ROI platform. The trick with Apollo Galaxy being, just another 1% a day sort of thing, is it's using the Apollo token, which you were saying, Freedom, can't go down in price. So the thing most people suffer from is the token goes down in value because of inflation, and then, they end up losing money or breaking, barely breaking even, these sorts of things. But when that Apollo token can't go down in price, suddenly you're getting that 1% a day that you were promised for the first time returns ever. Exactly. Yeah. And that's, it's a quick thing to say, but it's a very powerful thing to understand. It's not going to inflate your money away like all these previous daily ROI.
And that's why I think the bot projects, like the bot Prosperity, Rely Fund, a bunch of those have gotten hot lately, is because you're not getting paid. You're getting paid in stables, so it's guaranteed returns as opposed to, like we all know Drip.
Yeah,
it's the greatest 10x reverse ever. So wherever you started, you're like 10x behind where you started.
Unless you're at the very beginning and all that stuff, and that's one of the things
and you've hit max payout right now, and you're laughing to the grave, and you're just sucking the system dry, which is what's going on there. So this is a better version of Drip. I would have to say that, like, and it's picture Drip where it doesn't matter what time you got in Drip, the price just kept appreciating on that Drip token. For good. So if you got in, there is no all-time high. Like, so you don't have to worry, oh man, I got screwed, I got in at this point.
It's like you imagine you take the Drip price chart and it did that, it did sort of a 1 to 10 to 2 to 50 to 20 to 200, and then it's been going down since, but that's, we could dissect a dozen reasons why that's happening. Imagine taking that downward bit and flipping it upside down, and the price is just up and to the right and up and to the right. If that doesn't get you excited for Apollo Galaxy, I don't know if crypto's the space for you.
Well, and I know I kind of asked this as well, and I missed a couple little bits about from the AMA just because I had some work work discussions that came up. But I know, and I'm just going to I'll throw some comments that here and there up that aren't necessarily specific response comments, just to keep everybody engaged. And then if there's actual questions, we'll kind of get to some of those things. Normally, I think we'd probably bring in some questions and comments a little bit more and respond, but I feel tonight is a little bit more of kind of some general discussions to get the crowd accustomed to daylight and everything. Anyways, what I was going to say is I know that there are some things in place that should make this more sustainable as well, right? Mayday, like, so at some point, isn't there going to be some kind of reduction is there some kind of reduction in rewards or something like that?
For Apollo or
for Apollo
Daylight?
Galaxy I don't know. I'd have to see. Let me see if I can just find the wording of that.
So there was a question today about sort of a reduction in emissions, but they were
was about the farming, though, right?
Yeah, that was
farming, everything but the long farm. He reduced the emissions on, which makes sense. Obviously, you can't, continue to pay the high emissions when you're
I
not
think it's
bringing in the
important
volume.
to understand. I think it's great that Ted's pulling the emissions back a little bit. He's just tweaking those numbers, like you said, on everything except the long farm. But to keep in mind that users received a couple $100,000 in payouts from the project already. Like people have made a bunch of money. This isn't like nobody's made money. I mean, we were saying the price is down. Earlier we were saying the price is down a little bit, but I know a lot of guys who've made a little bit of cash on this. It wasn't the 10x that everybody dreams of, but they're making a little bit here and a little bit there.
Yeah, and on that side, it's so much to do with your strategy and everything, right? And it's the same with something like Vulcan and Seifu before. It's a little different, obviously, but if we talk about the rebasing coin, Seifu, and Vulcan, to just necessarily Vulcan's actually changing because of the it's going to be
different now.
Completely different now. But if you looked at Seifu, if you just bought at the beginning and then you waited till the end to start taking profit, you probably ended up, unless you're the very first investor, you probably ended up losing something. But for Vulcan, when it launches, for example, I'm going to take, like, even though the rebasing is lower, I'm going to take like a certain percentage at a reasonable time, right? Like, so that I start taking profits. And it's kind of the same with the farming. Like, if your strategy was to put it into the farm and then take some of your returns from that and cash them out, you probably have made a bit, and then you know what I mean. But for me, my strategy, just based on knowing what's happening with what's coming up with the launch pads, for example, on BSC and then Vulcan, I'm just either reinvesting that. Some of it I ended up putting into like the MDB Plus farm, some things like that, just because to me we're so early and I have confidence in the team.
So I've been taking my long farm returns every day. I claim, and I go straight into the short-term farm where I've just been pooling.
Yeah.
So I started with like 300 Dale there, and I'm up to like 1,500 Dale. So I'm like, this is like working. I'm like, okay, I don't really look at the price because I'm like, I've always wanted him to get everything in place and then see where it goes from there. And then with the floor price, it's also gone from 1.5 cents to now we're at 2 cents. So that's rising like it should be. And this is in low volumes. Could you imagine once we start pumping volumes, how much?
I know.
That's what I view as like, as more and more stuff gets rolling through the protocol, that's when it's really exciting. And this Apollo Galaxy should bring a lot of action because you're going to be doing stuff daily. People are going to be transacting, and that's going to help. And that's what I'm really excited for, because it's like a drip on steroids, which is what I love.
And I think you had touched on earlier was the daylight price moved up, very roughly 10% on the launch of the Apollo token. Now imagine they launch another 6 to 8 projects and they all move the price 10%. It's not going to be a linear compound, because once you move 10% once and you move 10% on that, it's more like a 12% and then a 15%. We get 10% in a month, the price is going to go bonkers. But
and the other thing is let's be honest, right? Let's see. Mayday needs to change his name, as this looks as solid AF. Maybe a new name should be Pilot Gold. What do you think?
I mean, I'm open to suggestions. I don't really have any branding behind my name.
Yeah, man.
Other than this is my gamer tag, so.
He's working on his branding right now because he's going to have his own YouTube channel and stuff soon. And right, brother?
Yeah.
Join the good fight.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I just never had like that launch pad moment to do it. But now I feel like that I'm getting involved. It's sort of, a self-fulfilling thing.
Yeah. Once you start, it's like so addicting. And then you get invited on more live streams. And then you're like, wow, I have no life every night. It's like.
But you have friends like Seifu Warrior.
I have tons of friends, like possibilities that I never thought were possible. Like just talking to people in the space, like my ladies, I call them the ladies of the Greek, Lady Bex. Nice to have you here.
You got a whole community of friends,
Yeah, I started a Discord like a month and a half or 2 months ago, and I didn't think if 50 people join, I'll be excited. And we hit 550 today. So I was like, holy crap, my own Discord. But it's nuts.
I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding. Yeah.
It's just cool to see what has happened. So
well, and the thing is kind of like your experience with going to Dubai, right? It's like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Well, how cool must have that been to meet a bunch of these people that you've been talking to for so long, and then you like become even closer. That's what's
great. I text with everybody I went to Dubai with. I'm in groups with them. We talk daily. It's really a family. Getting to meet the team. So when I have different, obviously it's easier for me to talk about Vulcan and what happens with them because I've met the team. I've met all the developers. I met all 4 co-founders. I had breakfast with Nick Caliani every morning. So I'm sitting there next to him and Prabhu. What? Yeah. So it's Caliani to my right and Prabhu is sitting there. Okay. So that's my breakfast. And I'm like,
he's just name dropping right here.
Prabhu's the blockchain guy. He's the one who's in charge.
What do you mean you have breakfast with them on your phone? What are you talking about?
In Dubai.
Oh, okay. I was like, right, yeah.
No, now they don't even talk. Now forget it. They will answer a DM here and there if I ask simple questions. But But in Dubai, it's like sitting down with these people. So it gave me a better understanding of the whole process and and then getting to talk with Ted, with an AMA I did with him. Now we're part of the Seifu Council together. So I have It's just crazy how far things come.
Yeah. So, we got Sam here. We got
my future wife,
Kryptonian here. Hey, brother, you've been very popular these days. Kryptonian's got his new channel too. I can't wait to
make sure you guys subscribe to Kryptonian's channel.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the crypto, but then also just his general thoughts about his rules in life and all that stuff, right? Because that's good stuff for sure. All right. Well, let's now that we've hugged and said how much I
love you guys.
Love our community.
Let's all make money.
Let's talk about making some money here. So the other thing that's cool with the Apollo Galaxy, right, is there is going to be that referral option as well, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know the details of that, Mayday?
Yeah, you get 5% right up front of their initial deposit, which is huge. Okay. I'm not gonna say there's an advantage to being a YouTuber, and I know people get annoyed a lot of times because they're like, "Oh, you have an advantage," but also you're out here throwing your name out every day, putting your face out, spreading the word. I get it.
Yeah.
So there's 5% right off the bat, and then it raises your emission rate like 0.1% for every. So you can max out at like 2.4%, I think, if I heard correctly today.
No, those numbers are right, and there are some requirements there of.
Oh yeah, you have to hold a certain amount as well.
Yeah, and it's not a small number either. So
no, it's not.
I think it was 10,000 was where you max out, which is that's not a small number for most investors. I know Ted had said in the AMA that they're going to be giving out some referral addresses to start, because you do need one to enter into Apollo Galaxy. You can't just go in on your own. So he said he would produce those at some point. Whose addresses they are, I don't know. I don't know the details behind how that works, but
I'll throw Ted a little to get my. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll tell when he wakes up in the morning. I'll tell him how.
Right? Hey, look at Greek right now. He's winking at Ted right now. Right?
I can't wink. Why? You're trying to make me wink. It's one of my things. I can't.
Oh my goodness! I think you did better your first attempt, and you should have just left.
The harder you try, the worse it's getting.
Yeah.
So someone's asking for a link in the description for Apollo. I'm pretty sure I got a link in there for all what you want to go to.
Yeah, I didn't put it in my description because I suck.
Oh, did you take it out? I thought I put it in.
You did on yours. It's
did I? Sorry,
yeah.
I think I went by your description. Anyways, on Greek's description, if you go to the Discord and then I would go to the official links, you've got it. I can.
So Pride, I will give you my referral once we get referrals. So there's nothing right now.
Look at the YouTubers coming out. Here they are.
I told them all. I'm like, you got to support the Greek. You got to come. You got to watch. And there they are.
If you guys use my referral, I'll give you a 10% kickback instead of using.
Like I always say, I had a drip referral link, and I had one person sign up. I never even advertised the thing because I don't want people to think that I'm only covering the project so I can get referrals, because that's same thing with Vulcan. I don't cover the project because I want to get people not just funnel people in. I do it because I love the project, and by my passion, it shows. So same thing with this. I love the mechanisms of it. I'm going to do a video on it whenever I get the white paper, so I can actually just tear this thing and really give the details. And then I'm going to do an awesome video. I already got the thumbnail because I called it drip on steroids, and I'm going to compare it to drip on steroids and say that, because if you do that, you get the drip crowd who's now going to come in and be like,
"That's what I was going to do."
They're going to be so angry.
You know what? We have to do this. I see an opportunity here because people in drip are so fed up where they're going to be like, "Well, this thing just keeps going down every day. You're making 1%, but the price is moving 1.13% down, and you're like, oh great, I'm losing money every day," which is true. So this is awesome. So I'm like, oh, if I can compare this to drip and get that drip crowd maybe angry, then there you go. Rile them up, because that's a crowd that really wants something like this.
I don't know if you have to get them angry, but just interested.
No, but you know the drip crowd.
Well,
drip crowd,
you know what?
If you say this is a better version of drip, they're just going to get angry to begin with, because
1% of 0 is 0. Yeah, I know.
That's
maybe 1%.
That's a dripper right there. See, he's been in drip. He bought it probably $90 or $100 like the rest of us, and is now 10x. No, more than 10x the other way.
I just have to do a little shout out very quick before. I don't know if these guys are around, but I have a couple of my buddies from the Proof of Memes guys are here supporting me here.
Oh, I like that Green Ranger avatar I saw.
Yeah, and the Green Ranger, which is cool because that project on Proof of Memes, they give back to charity for mental health, and the first donations going towards suicide prevention awareness.
Very good.
And they're coming to BSE soon as well. So
that's one I heard you talking about that a while back, and I was always, I gotta check this out. I gotta check it out, and then I just got.
I know it's
always,
like impossible to keep up with all this stuff, but well, not that this is true, but I put that up there just because of Mr. Tiok Bro here. Not forget about. Don't even read the comment. But this
just
is
accept the glory.
Yeah.
People are saying I'm talking a lot. I see you, Lady Bex.
Good. Here, where is
this
that?
is what happens when you don't put Prado on a live with me.
Yeah.
Everybody will know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I go to
anyways.
talk and Prado. See, that's a Prado right there. As soon as he's just ready to.
You can't. Nope. So I should Prado you tonight? Is that what you're saying? Should I be
Yeah, every time I open my mouth, you just start talking.
You need one of those big
buzzers
that you just stop him.
Well, so anyways, let's come back to daylight again here. Let's chat a little bit about so for everybody, number one, check out the get to Discord first of all. There's still I think a competition for like 500 BUSD there right now, actually.
Yeah, all you have to do is talk.
For being active, which is kind of cool.
Don't do anything because
they do quite a few giveaways and competitions and things. So even if you're not thinking about throwing a big bag into Daylight or Apollo or the ecosystem.
I saw one today. It was just a lot. It was a 10-day giveaway, and it was first person to click the button.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Everybody has a chance at that one. Of course, I saw it 20 minutes after it was already done. So,
well, you didn't do too well then.
Well, yeah, I'm managing like 15 Discords. I'm in 15 different spots. It's tough.
That's the crazy thing, but yeah. So number one, get in the Discord. All the links are there. There is a light paper, which I suggest reading on Daylight, and then it has the Apollo token in it. And then, as Greek and Mayday mentioned, there's going to be, is it going to be a light paper, I guess, for Apollo Galaxy? Is that what was the name of?
I don't know if they call it white. I don't know.
Light. I was going to say light.
There will be some form of documentation. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So nonetheless, that's what I'm waiting for, right? Mm-hmm. Same with you, Greek, right? It's
it's funny because it's a surprise launch. It could happen. It could happen this week, he said. So I'm like,
So
release the Kraken. We want the paper.
Give us that paper, Ted.
And allow me to get a referral code. So when I talk about it, no, I'm kidding. I don't care.
It's interesting that you bring up the surprise launch, because when I think of all the other projects I've gotten into, and we've each sort of touched on this, we all want to be first to get that best price, which for Apollo Galaxy, you can already have your Apollo. It's not like you're buying a new token.
That's true.
And you're not going to miss it. Like, you miss out on 3 days of price run. Oh, look, the token still went up in value.
Yeah.
All you missed is your 3% return on the first day. And, that beautiful power of compound interest is more about being in it for, 70, 100, 130 days. So even if it's a surprise launch, it's not.
If you guys are interested and you see this and you're like, Greek, can I have a referral link? All you have to do is, if you're in the Discord, there is, I think it's ignite@apollo.com. I think it's
ignite.apollolaunch.tech.
That's it.
That's where you can go.
You go there, and that's where you have to buy with BUSD. You can get your Apollo now. There isn't, is it 8% buy and 8% sell?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then obviously once you're in, the price only goes up and to the right. Now my Discord has a price
you got her in there? Yeah.
I added that this afternoon. I found out that Daylight had it in there, so I was able to steal it.
Okay.
So I steal every bot I can.
If
they let you share it. Some crypto places do the fancy ones. It's only you share the bot.
Well, I just wanted to say something about Apollo, the token. I want people to be aware that for me, Apollo, the token, it's kind of like storing your BUSD, but in an ever appreciating.
Exactly.
The price cannot go down, but it's not at this point to me. It's not something for a quick trade or anything, right? Because
That's exactly it.
there is the tax on there, as the Greek mentioned, but that tax is a part of what's making this so sustainable.
Right.
And it also feeds back to daylight too.
To kind of show the movement on this, okay, since I got in, because I got in whatever pre-launch of the launch first day, it was at like 1.146, like I think at launch, and now it's at 1.153. So it's going up, but it's not like people are expecting to see like cent moves in a day. No, like decimal moves, but it's constantly going up, and that's good.
Well, it started closer to 1, but there was
for
like
the
a private sale or the Apollo DAO. But even still, I was a little late, so I got in. I don't know if I got in at 109 or something like that, right? But still, like, I've already seen that kind of increase. And the whole thing is that increase is based on, it's not like that much money's in there yet. You know what I mean? So especially with the Apollo Galaxy plus the farms and everything.
Yeah, that gives more use case to Apollo, because right now it's just a store of wealth, the way Apollo is right now.
Right?
But once you put the Galaxy in, people are going to be like, oh, I got to buy Apollo because now I have use case for it. And I can give you how much is in it right now. I'm going to go to the website because I got it saved. So right now we have 181,000 in the backing, and circulating supplies 157,000 right now. So yeah, it's still early to the game. Still early.
Exactly. And like we said, that's where not financial advice, but to me, it's where the prices of daylight right now, it's at a very good price. And then plus with the Apollo, we're just very early before the launch pad isn't fully up yet, right? Mm-hmm. Which they're gonna have their first partner launch is coming up, and that's going to be something called Canachain, right? So that's going to be on through the Apollo launch pad, and for anybody interested in getting in on that, definitely join the Discord. I think there should be some options for regular, like anybody in daylight, I believe, right? Mayday. I know there's maybe a little bit towards the Apollo DAO first, but I think there's likely an opportunity for other people, right?
Yeah, so Ted did get the Apollo DAO to have a slightly better price than the public launch price, but it's not some huge number where all that liquidity is going to go into the DAO players' hands. It's a nice little bump, but it's, you're not getting like a 2, 3, 4, 5x return just for
it's like a DAO.
Yeah, which I think is the way to do it. I've seen too many projects that are like, oh, we're going to give the DAO guys 10 cents and we're going to launch at $1, and then their coin crashes in a week and they wonder, what did we do wrong?
Yeah, well, you get all the DAO guys selling right away.
You're just giving your money to your friends at that point.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, so that one's kind of an interesting token, though. Just for anybody that wants to look into it, that one is called, it's Canachain, right?
Yep.
Anybody just double check that? So that's basically creating blockchain related solutions for the cannabis industry and everything. And I think on that one, which is kind of interesting, even within the Apollo launchpad side, it's not a huge raise for it. And then they actually are releasing on Pink Sale as well. Mm-hmm. But the Apollo launchpad is going to have a little bit of a better price. But even I think on the pink sale, it's not that high. So there's potentially a pretty good opportunity. And I know I've just reviewed a little bit of the information and it looks very professional. I'm gonna likely go in on the Apollo Launchpad side, but I definitely want to do a little bit more research on the team and all of that stuff. But
I have a couple of the details for that for
okay,
the
cool.
Apollo Launchpad side, if you want me to share.
Yeah.
So they're keeping the minimum and maximum investments for the Apollo on the small side. I think the total cap is going to be $30,000, and then in terms of individual investments, you have to have a minimum of $300 or a maximum of $600. So, however that plays out, however many people from the DAO get in, I think the important piece is they kept that total amount low.
That's fair.
I did write a Medium article, which I'm happy to pass around to you guys. I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but yesterday I did sort of like a deep dive through the Canna chain documentation. I do sort of just some writing on the side, but
yeah, I took a look at some of it. I didn't, and I had done a little bit of research, but yeah, that was a good summary from what I saw.
It sort of goes back to what I had been saying earlier on. I look at a lot of things in crypto for that sort of real business use case, right? I want to invest in things that are solving problems in the world, and Canna Chain strikes me as something that could genuinely do that. I'm trying to find a quote that they had that really, this one quote was sort of what sold me on the project, but maybe I didn't include it in my article. One of the things that stuck out for the project, so they've got a bunch of different applications that they all tie in. There's the token, they've created their own wallet. Obviously, they've got all the supporting social media, Telegram, Twitter, Discord, all these things. And there's going to be Canna Farms, which is, your typical farming pool like Animal Farm or, name any of 100 farms that have ever been. The one thing that they're actually creating and developing, which I think could be very interesting, was called Canna Maps. And they basically are creating this application, sort of like Google Maps, but their own sort of little spin-off. And it shows you the locations of of dispensaries and cultivators and manufacturers of cannabis products and, just all these other businesses in the industry. And it's sort of tying them all in together. So you can look them up, you can add them as friends, you can network. It's an interesting sort of combination of like a maps feature and a networking feature, all rolled into one.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. So looks pretty neat, right? So, like you said, it's not I actually like that it's not a huge amount, for example, and that the price difference from any of the public or private, say, like nobody's getting some huge amount that's all going to be just sold off like some of these private sales and
That's
stuff.
exactly
right?
what happens.
Yeah. So anyway, it looks like and I actually like that the amounts are only like 300 or 600 BUSD because it kind of puts everybody in the same place. Oh yeah. Our good buddy wants this link. I don't know if you can drop it in the comments. Does that work or?
Oh, do you want the Apollo Launchpad link?
I think link? He wants the link for the Medium article. We can.
I'm gonna send it to you, Freedom, on Discord because I don't know if I'm logged in. Oh no,
okay.
Yeah, I can. No, I don't know how to put a comment in.
Well, I'll share the Apollo link too.
Yeah, let's see. 1 second. Yeah, so we'll get that on there, and then I'd say, well, there's going to be another launch coming pretty soon, the Space DeFi one on Apollo, which looks very interesting. And I did yeah, there you go. Oh, that's the Ignite Apollo one. Did you send that, Mayday, the article?
I sent a link to you in Discord.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab it here.
Oh, he sent it in the private chat here. I can send it.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, so the other thing, everybody, is that Daylight, I think likely the second launchpad partner will be Space DeFi, which is a very interesting one. And I did an AMA with the founder. And so they have, one of the things they have is Space Bots, which is bot trading. But the cool thing with it is that you can actually see all the like once you put your money in, you can see where that goes. You can see all the trades that happen and everything.
Oh, that's good.
Versus, some of these other ones, it's like they say they're doing it, right?
It reminds me, I just watched Madoff the other day on Netflix. So I'm like, are they really trading, or are they just taking Joe's money and giving it to Paul?
Right.
It's like
the trades. We're making them up on the back end, especially in DeFi, the trades.
Yeah.
And then they always talk when you hear a bot project. Oh, we're going to release our trades. It's like a month into the project. You're like, now you're going to release your trades.
Okay. Yeah.
After they made them up for a whole month. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
well, exactly. So that's one of the things that's really nice. So if you, they launched the Space Bots already. So I put some money in there. I haven't actually checked how the return on investment. I'm in a BNB pool. So it's basically trading on BNB, like on actual BNB. So it'll be interesting to see how that does. The volatility is actually really good. So give us more. What do you guys want? You want more volatility in crypto? Crazy volatility?
I mean, it's great if you have a bot that can read different arbitrage scenarios between two different exchanges faster than any human can. They pick that up, and with this volatility, it's great.
Yeah. See, Crypto Pride likes the bot trading on Space DeFi. It's pretty cool.
Prosperity's been making me just exactly what they've said, and I've actually pulled out the money for once in my life. I'm pulling out the money. I'm like, good job, great.
You got to get that ROI first. Get your investment out and play with the house money after that.
Yeah, now they closed the contract and now they're moving it over. So now I did they allow you to refund your money too. So the refund's in process. So actually, I'm going to be up money for once. In the last 6 months. Hey, and then I'm going to degen into something else because I love it.
Well, so are you guys both big fans of the trading bots that are? I feel like that's sort of a newer thing in the DeFi space.
It depends. First thing I do is I look at you got doxed developers. Mm-hmm. Okay, and by doxed, I like the showing the face thing. So like Relive Fund right now, there's a couple of fishy things going on. The site magically doesn't work. That one I didn't put nearly as much money. I put like $100 just to try it out. So I don't even care. And I already cashed out $60 on that. So I really don't care. If that one were to go bye-bye, I know some people get hurt, but Prosperity, the guy is always out there. He's done videos, he's doxed, and that doesn't mean they can't do stuff, but that's one of my criteria when I go into projects. So
I'm super suspicious of new trends in crypto, let alone pretty much any project I look at it. It
would be nice if I could see the trades daily. Like here's our yesterday's trades with all this money, and you could see, oh, okay, wow, okay, they actually lost some money on a couple of trades. Okay,
well,
great.
that's the nice thing with the Space Bots one. You can actually follow that one, which is cool. So that'll be kind of interesting, right? Like, but I don't know. The interesting part will be these AI bots and stuff that are I think the AI stuff's gonna just take over, and I kind of feel that.
I mean, wouldn't you find it easier rather than taking money and doing the trades? Why just sell your bot to people, and you can make a ton of money just selling the bot if it's so good? But I guess they have to prove concept first. If your
bot was so good, you would make more money with it than selling it to people. Like if your bot was making you 10% a day on these trades, some AI, software that
That's
gets
true.
written. You don't need anybody. You just sit there and get 10% a day, and in 6 months, you're like, oh my God, I've got $1 million lying around. Or you're going to sell the bot for some, you sell the bot to 10,000 people for $50 each. You make a nice chunk of change, but suddenly they're all using the same bot that you are, and it just crushes the effectiveness.
Yeah. I find it interesting once it's all AI, who's going to be making the money at that point?
Our robot overlords.
You got robot deals going on behind the scenes.
Exactly,
They're like,
yeah.
I like you today, so we'll make a deal. It's
Greek, are you a robot overlord living on the moon right now? Because
I don't know. See, I can breathe on the moon. I must be a robot.
Yeah.
No,
I'm surprised nobody has made one of these AI trading bots and called it Skynet. Seems like an obvious,
It's gonna happen tomorrow after listening
That's it.
to
I'm
this.
getting a bot, and I'm gonna make a project. It's called Skynet.
It's called Skynet, and then we'll make one called Terminator, and we'll see which one does better.
Samantha didn't say hi to the Greek.
But she said hi before to everybody.
Okay, that counts.
I
forgive you.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about I want to talk a little bit about Vulcan just because of the launchpad, just about the launchpad side. Oh, look at this guy. Well, so as everybody knows,
now I can show it off.
Look at this.
I just opened a browser and typed in what is Vulcan blockchain, and then you said, "Oh, look at this guy," and I was like, "Can you see my screen?"
Well, if you type it in YouTube, you're gonna come across some of my videos.
Yeah.
Well, so it's the first auto rebasing blockchain, and TET and Daylight. They're the first Skyway project, which is basically means they're going to be they're basically one of the first partners, and the Apollo launch pad is going to be launching on the Vulcan blockchain as one of the first things. And then there's like so many other partners that they're creating some different ones. One of them
they just added Cosmic Force, and then Cosmic Force Launchpad for gaming. So that's huge to begin with there.
Yeah, so they're basically, it's a new blockchain now set for March 1st. So Daylight's going to have their Apollo launchpad on BSC, and then it'll also be launching on Vulcan. But what I wanted to say is that, and I don't know, I've actually been involved with some newer blockchains the last while there, Greek, and it's a very interesting space when a blockchain launches, because one of the things is that as soon as the blockchain is up, people can just start launching projects. They don't need a launch pad. But on this other blockchain, for example, that I know of and I've kind of been a part of, a lot of rugs came up early on, until like the ecosystem got a little bit more mature. Plus, they had some of these launch pad and different things in place. So that's one of the things that I really like about the Apollo launch pad being on there, is that there's going to be early projects that are vetted, and then obviously as well, you're going to have some of the projects related to safe food, like the LSC and the cost for the cat. Like some of those ones are going to come over
Kiwi,
too, right?
Yeah, they're all coming over. I'm excited about all that.
What about the Greek yogurt project? When's that coming over?
The Greek yogurt token is in early stages of development.
Is it fermenting right now? Like, do you have it
stages?
In the oven?
I mean, it is.
Do you have it in the oven, kind of at a low temperature?
I mean, we have a logo. That's all we have for the Greek yogurt token. That's all. It was somebody made a joke in my Discord and posted. It's It's a Greek yogurt stand, and then yogurt appears. It's like yogurt anyone, and then it's got the Vulcan devil horns because everybody loves when I go into Devil Greek. Which
yes.
I gotta give them Devil Greek, you know.
Oh yeah, give them Devil Greek here. Oh, there we go.
So yeah, I give them Devil Greek, and they all love it. So like you see people's profile pictures now in Discord are Devil Greek.
I see a number of them. Well, so the whole thing is it's honestly and this is where when I heard that Daylight was the first Skyway project, I was bullish on that because it's not just one token launching. It's a launch pad that's going to help a bunch of good tokens to launch, right?
Yeah.
And hey, Mayday, can you talk a little bit like the other thing with the Daylight thing that's kind of cool is the VC and funding and support side.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's for the good projects that are coming through, Daylight has this additional aspect that kind of supports projects and will help market them and things like that, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's really great about what Ted and team are doing. It's one thing to create a launch pad and to, tell people, hey, come launch your projects on our launch pad, and to not really have any heart or any support system behind it. Ted and the guys are really looking at projects and evaluating them and saying, is this quality? Is this something we want to help them? And if they need, resources for designing a website, or they need an extra hand in getting an audit or writing code, Ted's got all these resources available to him that he openly shares and pushes to people. So it really is like a community venture. It's not just one person trying to drive, profit like a financial titan, so to speak.
The last thing you want to be known as a new blockchain is being Rug City, from the get-go. I understand there's nothing they can do in the like, so people always bring up, what are you going to do as a blockchain to avoid rugs? And I'm like, can you really avoid them? But
you can't.
Like you can't. But what you can do is have good avenues to foster good projects in, and you can funnel then people say, hey, look at this. These have been doxed. These have been vetted. These have been through VC funding. These have come up with communities here. They're doing things the right way. Not saying that every project that does that is going to be safe, secure, make tons of money. So that's why, but at least you're giving it a better chance. And, and also 100%. For everybody there, you got to do your own research.
Yep.
Have rules in place. Don't invest in projects where somebody's not showing their face. But I Forex Shark's different, I guess. He doesn't rug.
You listen to Forex Shark talk, and you know that he believes in what he's doing, and he's doing the right thing. I know
he
lot
does.
Of people
he just got developer mind, and he just does too many things at once, and he just sometimes that's a bad thing. But
I am a huge proponent of investing in the person as much as the idea behind the project. So when I listen to Forex talk, and I don't necessarily mean in like AMAs or interviews or anything, I hear him talk sometimes just in the DAO, or I watch him, talk to people in Drip Chat and Animal Farm Chat and these things. And he genuinely cares about trying to create products that are going to make people money. This Forex is, absurdly wealthy. He doesn't need us to make him money. And I would honestly argue he's making less money doing what he does, because he actually cares about sort of correcting this imbalance that exists in traditional finance. He wants to make DeFi the place where people go to make money, and it's an even playing field. So I'm a huge proponent in getting to know the developers and the team, and like getting to know Ted and the guys. They're a fantastic group of people. So for me, the very first variable when I look at a new project is, do I trust these guys? Do I think they're good people? And it's 100% just a BS test. It's pure gut. There's no science to it. I just talk to them and get to know them.
Well, and that's one of the things like Greek kind of said, I think, or maybe I mentioned it, but very early, one of the things that was great. Oh, look at that! There's our little brother.
He loves coming on camera.
Does he own any? Paulo?
He owns everything. Whatever I own, he owns. because
He's in the
he
will.
gets everything.
He's in the will.
Yeah, and he gets a treat every time I make money, so he's happy every time I make some money.
But you just said you haven't been making any money though. He's like, I'm out of here.
Don't tell him.
As long as the treats keep coming, right?
He gets treats regardless. What an easy life he's got.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, these pets, right? I have 2 cats. They're like, they literally, if you're in the right home, right? If you're in the right home for pets, I think they live a better life than their owners the majority of the time, right? It's nuts.
He's so spoiled, and his best friend's coming tomorrow. He doesn't even know yet. I haven't told him. His best friend's coming tomorrow, spending a week. So,
crypto.
Now he just perked up.
Oh yeah, this is a good idea. Make him as an NFT. You could have a whole NFT collection, man. That'd be awesome.
I created an NFT line when I was a Safe Moon influencer. Those were the days. And I made laser eye pugs, digital laser eye pugs. I actually sold 2 of them, so I don't even know why somebody would buy. Well, I sold them for 25,000 Seifu a piece, and now that's useless. So it was like $4.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was a question here. Guys, can you tell us more about MDB Plus? Looking to decide between Daylight, MDB Plus, 180 Farm, or wait to buy Apollo and stake in Apollo Galaxy. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
I would.
I'm not. What do you think there, Greek?
I would buy Apollo and stake in Apollo Galaxy. But
yeah,
I also don't know what the Apollo MDB farm is paying, as I'm not in it. So I think what's the APR on that? Because it's like 300%.
Well, I'm not sure right now because I think it was in the 1%. I think the max was 1.5%, but I'm not sure if we're quite getting that right now. And I'm not sure if that one's going to be right. Ted was saying the long farm will likely stay in the 0.7 to 1% range. So then likely the MDB Plus, maybe that'll come down a little bit.
One thing to think about too is it compounds in the Apollo Galaxy, and you have an ever raising floor price. Because if you keep compounding it every day, that 1% keeps adding, and the next day so it's just.
Well, there's also going to be a Daylight / Apollo farm as well. So there's going to be Apollo Galaxy plus the Daylight Apollo farm, which I think will have very good. I think honestly, I would suggest.
Okay, he said 202.33 APY is the MDB Plus. Then it is better in the Apollo Galaxy for sure.
Okay, and honestly, I would.
Now, a question I didn't ask today.
Well, I was just going to say I would wait a day, read this light paper, right, for the Apollo Galaxy. Right. What were you going to say though?
The only question I have, and I should have asked it today.
Great. I'm going to talk for a little bit here, and then we'll come back. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
That was good. You were trying to prod on me. So do you know how just like drip, you put it in, and a lot of people were confused at first when they got into drip. They're like, oh, so I'm earning 1% a day, and then I can pull you can't. Is Apollo Galaxy like that, or can you pull everything out like after a certain lock period of time, and you just pay a penalty?
I had thought I heard that it is different from drip and these other daily ROI platforms in that regard, that you can pull that out, but don't quote me on that.
Well,
check that one.
That's one of the things I wanted to view the white paper, because if you can pull out, then that's a game changer. But you pay certain penalties for the longer you keep it in, the tax would go down. That would be
So I think that's what it is that and shoot, I made notes at work, but I left those notes at work because I had Mayday coming on today, and he is the note expert. He knows everything. I've never ever had him not be able to answer on the spot, like right now.
Well,
All right,
this
guys,
is one
I'll catch
reason
you
why we
later.
need a white
Bye-bye.
paper. See, this is why we
Ted,
need the white
Ted,
paper, and we'll
we
find
need a
this
white
out.
paper.
So the note I do have from the AMA is that their withdrawal fee decays by 10% every week.
Yeah. So
that
that's where
suggests you can pull your deposit out
That
eventually.
that's actually a great thing, because so drip, you're compounding. You're like, oh, if this thing tanks, now you're never pulling out any investment.
Right.
Somewhere on the 3-in-1 schedule where they compound 3 days, pull out 1 day. But this you won't have to. So
yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks, Jaime. I appreciate it so much.
The Greek is rich. I guess your boy gets a treat now. Right? Where is he? Give him a treat.
He's sitting right by me.
Does he sit there most of the time during
your
streams?
So usually an hour into my stream, he comes down to check on me. He usually lays on the couch, doesn't move. And then he comes downstairs like an hour into the stream. And then once he comes down here, he's usually coming down here for something. And I just looked at the clock, and it is his dinner time. So that's why he came down here.
Yeah.
But he can wait. He's fine.
Well, yeah. So that's honestly why we need the white paper, though, or the white or light or whatever paper, Ted, so we can see those details, because some of those details are going to be the differentiators that could really make this take off, right? We already know about the Apollo price not being able to go down, right? And then, sorry. Yeah.
You were bringing it up there.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So honestly, and
so
that's
that makes
related to the tax.
Drip on steroids, even better than drip. There you go. It just keeps getting better. You can pull out now, and you don't have to. You
can pull out now, and what?
I started getting dirty thoughts in my mind.
As soon as you said that, I'm like,
I always do that.
Who is this? Who is this Greek?
Man. So that's a good thing. You can. I don't like saying pull out.
Well, anyways, you can withdraw based on a decaying withdrawal fee. But nonetheless, it's going to be
that's another good mechanism.
It's very cool, right? And that's honestly, and the good thing is that I'm pretty sure Ted's been involved with drip and a lot of these things, and then
me and him were in the comments today going back and forth about it, and he's the one who said the joke about the 10x reverse chart.
Okay, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing though, is that you need somebody like Ted that's involved with it, and he probably made some money, but he's not making the same amount of money now, I'm sure. Right. And then he makes a better protocol based on all of that knowledge so that Greek can actually make some money.
His joke was get to max payout on drip so I can make $10 a day. I started dying when I saw that. I'm like, I'm up to $1.70 a day. Let's go.
Oh my.
No, it's higher than that.
Well, Mayday, any other things you want to talk about tonight? We can talk a bit longer here. If anybody has any questions for us, definitely throw those in there. There he is.
So
I forget what his name is, first of all.
On camera, he's got a camera name Legend. The pug.
Oh, the Legend.
But his real name is Wrigley. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan.
I feel like
you just doxed yourself on camera. Look at you.
I feel like I need to get my wife to bring my dog up, and we'll have the.
Do you have a pug too?
He's not a pug. He's a Jack Russell Terrier, and he's 17 years old.
He feels like he's an alien now with his background. He's like looking in awe. He's like, look at me. I'm like real Men in Black now.
He's like, I am actually a legend. I've been on the moon.
Yeah. First time I watched that movie, I fell in love with pugs, and I wanted to name him Frank, just like the movie, but I couldn't because my best friend's dad is Frank. So it would have just been weird.
Thanks, guy.
Yeah, that's actually what Sky just posted in the chat. There was one thing I had wanted to touch on real quick, but he beat me to it.
All right.
There is going to be for Apollo Galaxy an auto compounding capability,
right?
But it will cost you a little bit of your compounded value, which is going to be 15%.
You talking about Greek, Samantha?
She loves the pug.
Or Little Legend.
Yeah, no one's talking.
Oh, here we go. We got to get.
Oh man.
Hey, hi, bub. Well, I don't like this. What is it? Oh.
He's like, well, you're not on the moon.
Oh.
You know, you got to get on the moon
this
first.
This is Timber. This is my little guy.
Thanks. The Legend went back up to Lee.
Nips me on the nose.
He's like,
go get your mama.
He's like, I am not a movie star.
No, I'm not a cameraman.
So you pay 15% of your profits to not have to touch it every day.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to get the Excel spreadsheets out for that one, right?
I mean, I'm so used to compounding, and I'm in so many Fork Shark things. Like, this just adds like, so now instead of 14 transactions a day, I have to do 15 transactions. I'm used to it. So, and I have like 7 different wallets I have to switch to and do all these transactions. It's crazy, but it's the life of a degen Greek. So
who knows off the top of their head how many times you need to compound at 1% to double your bag? So if you had 100 Apollo and it was 1%, how many times do you have to compound?
I did do the math on $200. If you start $200, let's say releases in 2 days from now, over the course of a year, you turn into 7,500, compounding 1% daily. That's a year. Now I don't know how long it takes to double the bag. That's a good question. I can do that math as long as you guys keep talking. I can get that math done.
So don't quote me on this, but it's roughly 75 times.
Yeah, so 75 days or so.
Yeah, we'll call it 75 days for a nice round number. I guess what we would really want to see, and we don't have to bust the spreadsheets out now, but how far back does that 15% put you?
We'll bust them out.
Raven,
I know. I said that, but I'm secretly doing it on the backside.
70 days, and then Raven, how many days does?
So if we started today, April 4th, we'd hit double our bag on $200 investment
in 70 days.
April 4th would be the day if we started today, compounding every day.
That's
April
70
4th,
days because Raven says 70 days.
I have no clue how many days it is.
You're gonna have to count. Get those fingers out there. Do 10 and then a 1 and a 10 and
yeah, my spreadsheet says
get your toes
days.
out.
And if we change it down to 85 or 0.85, we're looking at about 84 days, so an extra 2 weeks.
But is that so? I guess you'd have to see how that works. But do you go from 1% down to 0.85% for that auto compounding? Like it's or do you have to give up 15% at the time and then it auto compounds from there?
My understanding was so say you had 100 Apollo, it would take. And
15% every day.
Yeah, you get
if you got
that's
$1 worth. It would be 85 cents you receive.
Well, that's quite a bit then.
So basically, it's paying the gas every day. It's covering the gas to auto compound, but then it's probably taking extra fees.
Well, you gotta that's why I want that
light paper. Yeah,
that light paper. Do some math.
That's true.
It would be nice in certain situations, like you go on vacation or you go on a business trip or whatever, or you're not going to be able to pay attention for a couple of days. You could just put it on the auto compound.
That is a pain. Like, when I went to Florida for a week and you're down by the pool, laying down, your phone's sitting on a beach chair, and you're like, oh man, but then again, there was times where I'd go lay down and I'd go do it. It takes me 10 minutes to do. I guess I'm different than most people because I'm got my pulse all the time on crypto.
Yeah.
Right? Like even after this video, I'm probably going to watch like 4 or 5 YouTube videos on crypto, just constantly. It's weird.
You're obsessed.
Yeah. I have no life.
Obsession.
So I say the secret to my success is not having a wife, no kids. I just have a pug. So, it's my secret.
Well, that's why we got to set you up there, brother.
Good luck.
Greek will be. What is this one? Greek will be.
We'll make some NFTs and sell them as a date with Greek.
Oh yeah, Sky Dreams. I will be a fixed flex machine. Okay.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know how it's going to work, because there's been a lot of sayings out there. So March 1st, they will collect the amount. You won't be able to collect on March 1st. So March 2nd, you will go and you have 24 hours. So if you can't hit a button in 24 hours, you don't deserve the fixed flex.
Yeah.
You hit that button and it pays you out right away from the March 1st pool. And then the next day will pay you out the March 2nd pool. Next day. So you're always working a day in advance. And that's how it's going to work. You click a button, you get paid. What a great thing. And those rewards are actually pretty good, actually, when you're thinking about, like, I've done some math on my bag size. It's going to be like $54 per 20 million in volume. So that's not crazy. We're talking blockchain. That's a great amount.
Well, the whole thing is all of these things, just the regular rebase plus the fixed flex. You kind of have multiple options, right? You can use some of that to remove some money every once in a while, and you also can like compound it as well, right? So
I actually have an issue like taking the money out and putting it in my pocket. It's like a severe issue for me because I'm always like, where can I put it now?
I think Kryptonian.
I cycle so much.
Kryptonian, read his comment and then tell us. Then continue.
Greek, you are unlike anyone else. Just saying. Yeah. I'm the master of recycling my money in different projects. So I take pull from here, like I pull from Forex Shark, move it into here. I pull from this, move it into there. Then it's just like, it's fun.
Well, I'm similar, right? In the sense that there's always something that I need to get this additional money in because it's going to have this opportunity for especially like things that are passive income and stuff as I'm kind of building up. And that's why I like the long farm, for example.
Yeah.
This Apollo Galaxy I like. So, and then there's, the Vulcan rebasing, and there's just a lot of different things like that. Right. So.
And, I'm surprised I haven't plugged this yet. I am the owner of the Vulcan merch store. So if you guys want merch, use code YouTube, save 5% on all your Vulcan merch. This hat is delivered today from my merch store.
Where's that mute button? I just we had a no merch shilling agreement.
What if I'm going to talk to Ted too. I've been meaning to DM him about this. I'm going to make a general DeFi store as well as some other stores. I'm going to see if he gives the rights for Daylight.
Are you going to make one with Yeah, that would be awesome, eh?
So I got to talk to him.
With the talk to the Green Ranger too. That would be a good. Get some merch for Green Ranger.
I don't know if I can use that though.
Every time his name pops up, I hear the sound of that little flute that the Green Ranger uses.
We did make you know how Brian Legend likes Louis Vuitton. We made a Louis Vuitton print sweatshirt and one order, and then we can't print this. So then we had to adjust it. So we took out the LVs and we put the Vulcan symbol, and now we have it back on our site.
All right.
So I don't know if with copyright we would have to check, but yeah. Anybody wants, we're going to have a general DeFi store, general crypto store in general.
That's cool.
Projects watching.
Regarding the Green Ranger comments, none of us are the project owner, so it's a little hard to answer that question. But let's say that Mayday, if you had a new investor come to you and said, why should I buy Daylight Protocol or Apollo Galaxy, what would your sentence be?
Oof, that's a toughie.
One sentence.
One sentence? How long? I mean, I can have a run-on
sentence. It can be a run-on sentence. That's fine.
The longest run-on sentence in the history of the world.
If you had a new investor come to you and said, why should I buy your project in this sentence? I could answer this a bunch of different ways.
Well, you better think about it. I'm going
to try and pick one.
Because you can.
Because you can, because you're gonna miss out on money.
Well, here, let me answer first.
Not financial advice.
Here, let me answer first, and then you go. Or was that yours?
No, go ahead.
I would say, okay, so run-on is okay.
Oh, that would have been
at least no rug pull. That's a good start.
That's a great start.
Trustworthy.
Well, to me, what I've seen with Daylight Protocol is that it's a team that I can trust that is building an ecosystem that has the real potential to bring true wealth in many aspects. And I could probably come up with something much better than that, but now Mayday's gonna.
I'm gonna actually go away from the run-on. I'm gonna go with 3 words: trustworthy, innovative, lucrative.
Ooh, powerful. Greek?
Yeah, follow that one.
Yeah. Your chance to earn 1% daily on an ever-appreciating token. Mic drop.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, yeah.
I
don't know. Kryptonian said truth, so I guess we're all right.
Greeks like pug. Yep.
Well, you know what? The whole thing is and this is we're all in Daylight Protocol very early, right? When was launch now? Do you remember Mayday? I guess it's been a little while, right? But
I actually can't remember exactly when it launched. I can look it up real quick.
Completely forget. But
I think it was around the time of sacrifice for Seifu over to Vulcan. It was November-ish, I think.
Yeah, I'd say November sometime.
So the chart shows the 27th of November as the first candle.
Okay. So, yeah, like end of November. So what? Yeah, 27th of November. Yeah. So it's 27th of November. The whole thing is and that's kind of what, honestly, it's kind of cool. I like that we're having this conversation because honestly, I don't think Daylight's really talked about enough for what their vision is and what they're kind of bringing to the space. Now, they've been kind of building it at the same time. So it's not like everything's been flashy and this and that. But kind of like Kryptonian said, it's like I do believe in Ted's vision and the team's vision of creating this true wealth generation. And it's kind of cool that we get to kind of watch it unfold, right? And, the price has dropped. It's not the best feeling, right, to watch that. But at the same time, I've been in projects where devs have barely created anything for 6 months or like these long periods. And it's just like, give us something, anything, right? But the Daylight it's creating stuff. Yeah. So
they're doing it in a good way too.
Kryptonian said bang over flash. I like that Daylight isn't flashy. They're not trying to like put this misleading whatever of something. They're just trying to build this solid system, right? This solid foundation. Yeah. So what do you guys think about that aspect?
Yeah, from the moment I got in, I knew they were going to build all this stuff, and I not to always diss Fork Shark, but like, look at how long some of that stuff took to build. So I've seen progress here in 2 short months. We're starting to get the back end stuff that we were promised, which is a good thing all the time, And yeah, it's once the whole system's in place, then you can judge it right now it's too early to judge the whole protocol.
Mhm.
But I like the way they've staggered stuff in, and I actually like the way, rather than coming out with everything all at once and people being like, well, what should I do? What should I do? Do you know, kind of release it in stages like this?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about Apollo Galaxy till
It's new, right?
yeah, like that was just
like
out of the blue.
Right?
And I was like, whoa, okay. I was excited for Apollo. I'm like, okay, I'll store that, like any extra money that I normally keep in BUSD, I'll just store in Apollo because that's going up, whereas BUSD is stable. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I was happy with that. And then when he did this today, I was like, today's when I really found out about it in detail. I was like, ooh, got the Greek all excited. Maybe I should have put more in Apollo.
I think something Ted might need to work on a little bit is, I felt the same way you did, Greek. Suddenly, out of nowhere, it was like, oh, Apollo Galaxy's coming. I felt like it was 2 days ago I heard about it the first time, and I kind of have Ted's ear. Like, I talk to him a lot during the day and hang out with him, and he's really bringing all these, like, innovative projects forward, and I'm trying to get him to, like, put the brakes on just a tiny bit, because we need to get some content out there, some articles, some, live streams like this, and some YouTubes. Like, we got to spread the word. It's one thing to build all the infrastructure, which, I love what they're doing. I love their ideas and how they're going about it. But we got to spread the gospel of Ted a little bit. Like, he's got to give us time to.
I think he feels like if you build it, they will come. Kind of like, yeah. You feel the dreams. You build everything. You have it working. People see it's working, and then they go, "Okay, I want to be a part of that." And there is some truth to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, and I have to be honest here when I say honestly, that I honestly probably said it right tonight, that I think Ted's been building these different aspects, right? And I think the Apollo Galaxy is kind of the one that, this is just my opinion, but it's like the one that you really start pushing out there a little bit more, right? If anybody understood what Apollo was, the token, ever appreciating, BUSD backed, right? Everybody was excited about that, right? But I think the average investor doesn't get that excited of just a stable coin that's always increasing, right? But the fact that now he's put that with Apollo Galaxy and kind of improved what some of these other people have done with miners and all that stuff, right? Like, that's the revolution that can be spread a little easier so people can understand it, right? Of what it is.
Yeah.
Was Kryptonian saying, Mayday, keep pressing. On the mind, in the heart, move the feet. I guess you're supposed to be getting your Medium articles out. Spreading
the word of...
Spreading the love for...
Spreading the word.
Spreading the word.
I am definitely one of Ted's disciples.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks, Anthony. It's I've been wanting to do this for a while, to get, just to talk about Daylight and what they're kind of doing, but almost the same as what I just said. It's almost like we needed this Apollo Galaxy announcement that kind of just amps Daylight up a little bit, right?
Yeah, now I got something where I can sell.
Right?
Like I need something where I can sell, like the Daylight, telling people, okay, you invest in Daylight, all this stuff's going to come. They hear blah, 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 blah. Things are coming in the future. That doesn't,
yeah.
When I could say, hey, you buy this ever appreciating asset and you're gaining 1% a day compounding, and now you can get out after 10 weeks, unlike DRIP.
And the price can't go down.
And the price can't go down. So you're actually getting a true 1%. So if you put $1,000 in, you're getting $10 a day, guaranteed compounding. Now it's interesting to some people, that, and they like, wait, my 1,000's not locked up forever. Okay, I only got to be in this 9 weeks, and after 9 weeks, you're in the clear, and you get
right.
So there is a max payout, and once you hit it, you can only get 3.65 times whatever. So like, let's say at the end of the year, your 200 turns into 7,500. You can get 3.65 times that. Whatever. I got to look at the white paper and all that stuff, but it's still it's one of those things that's just amazing that the ever appreciating token and having that stable backing, that's just a game changer in my opinion.
It's
interesting. And it's not just saying that because I'm going to put money in it because I love it.
It's interesting. I used the phrase earlier that Daylight and Apollo and these things are a bit of a slow burn right now. But you just think of like how quickly it's blowing up in terms of, like you said, Greek, now you have something that you can sell to people. So imagine once we're 6 weeks down the line and there's 5, 6, 7, 8 projects that have all gone through the platform and done the same thing. Like, it might not be a slow burn anymore. This thing could take off.
That's true.
That's the whole thing that I think that I'm a bit sad for anybody that's selling at the price that we're at now, just because it doesn't take much in this ecosystem to really kind of shift where this price is going. And with the ever appreciating floor price of Daylight, plus the ever appreciating Apollo price, like, as the ecosystem that keeps going, it could be crazy, right? Like, and I don't know. I saw somebody put this in the chat. I kind of missed this little bit, but was there a comment about Daylight at $25 or something like that? Or was that some kind of crazy? Because we're at 0.3 something right now.
$25, I'd be happy, man.
I think it was just the general speculation of, if so many projects come in at such and such a volume,
right?
I think the liquidity for Daylight is only like $200,000. So, if it suddenly went to $1 million, $5 million, those are big integer gains that you would be looking at.
Jaime, we've had talks with Khan. He is my
How
business
are those
partner.
Candles doing these days?
He's got a good amount of candles. I'm not sure on the sales.
Okay.
But NR's my business partner, NR Legend. I don't know if you guys know him. He's my business partner on the store. We bought the store together. We're going to be revamping and adding more stores. We're going to be turning on the Seifu merch store. We got the Vulcan merch store. We're going to be adding a general merch store. And then we got even another one, but I can't release that one because we're waiting on that one.
Oh, my.
It's guaranteed, but we are waiting for them to make the announcement.
Didn't I say something about no advertising on this live stream?
I can't help it. Use code YouTube for 5% off. And if I'm feeling good and you guys are in my Discord, occasionally I throw out 15% off coupons.
Hey, can we
sorry. No more.
Can we
get hats from the store?
Can me and Mayday get above you in your referral link so that we have a chance of getting in on your whole like multinational, like, you've got what?
Greek for president.
What does Greek have? Like 10 million followers at this point? Are you the
7,000? You're literally as of this morning. But who's counting?
Very accurate. Yeah.
Are you taking over from Prado here? Or are you like, are you the big dog on
Viva la Revolucion?
I don't compete with Prado. We share the same. Okay, when followers, I always give them a hard time that I have more followers. But my followers, I had 2,600 before I came to the Seifu community and the Vulcan community. So I always say if you take 7,400, which would be 4,800, that, oh crap, I've overtaken him now. Okay, maybe I have. But I don't look at it like it's just, I'm just who I am. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I listen to the people. I'm always there answering their questions. I'm trying to give people the news. I'm just who I am. This is who I am. So I never stop being who I am. And it's working. People like it. And as long as they keep liking it, I keep listening to the people. That's why my content's shorter, because Prado gives them the long 2-hour live. So I'm like, let's give them 5.5 minutes. And then they love that because they're like,
Are you wearing a Go
but here,
Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh,
I'm a Boston Bruins diehard.
My dad's a Bruins fan. I live near Toronto, but I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I'm the only one. Well, actually, all three of our teams have done very well over
very well. Actually,
We
like our
actually
three
have
teams are very good.
This could be like the dream team we've got right
All
here.
I can think of is the Stanley Cup Finals against the Blackhawks, and they just petered out, and the Blackhawks were too good.
Those Blackhawk teams were amazing.
They were
they really were. I was at the Game 6 at the United Center when they raised the cup against the Lightning, so that was one of my top moments as a fan. That was a wild time.
Hey.
I went to one of the games against the Bruins too. That Stanley Cup. I love it. Yeah, now we're a different story. Our guys are aging. The cap has killed us. I wish hockey didn't have a cap.
When the Bruins won it against Vancouver, they were down 2-0 to start the series, and a buddy of mine said, "Hey, I got 2 tickets for you if you want to go." And I was like, they're down 2-0. It was tickets for Game 4, and I was like, if they lose the third game, it's going to be painful. And my buddy turned to me and said, "Yeah, but if they win the third game and they win the fourth game, you'll wish you had gone." And I was like, "I'll take them. Let's go. Let's go."
That's a funny story because you know how the Cubs were down 3-0 in the World Series?
Yeah.
It's been I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Like I have a tattoo, like, you know, of the Cubs. And cool. I had the chance to go to Game 4. The ticket prices came down tremendously. We're talking they were like $1,200-$1,300 just to sit in the upper deck. They came down to like $400, and I'm like, okay, how can I not go to a Cubs World Series game? Yeah. I'd be a fool to not go at Wrigley Field. But part of me was like, if they lose this game, the other team's lifting the trophy at Wrigley Field, and I'm going to be there. And of course, I'm not going to leave early regardless because, you know, you get a chance.
Yeah.
So I credit it with me being the one that turned the Cubs season around. They won that game, and then they ended up winning this next. They were down 3-1 in the series. Sorry.
They should compensate you financially for the victory.
See, they should. I was the good luck charm that turned it all around. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
Okay, there are gentlemen who think they have control over the entire world. And
hold on there, Freedom. I just got to ask Greek a couple more questions about sports. Trying to reverse Prado you, okay?
Can you ask about the glory days of the Pittsburgh Penguins when I wasn't
alive in 1927?
Can you ask about the Chicago Bears who own the #1 pick? And I saw Ian Bednar in the comments. He's a Packers fan. We don't like him, so
here's a painful statement, and then we'll veer away from sports. I was born and raised in Foxborough, and I've never seen Tom Brady play.
Oh.
I watched Tom Brady win a Super Bowl. I was at the Super Bowl game in Atlanta, the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. Claim to fame. I was there.
Okay, now
we're done with sports.
Freedom reins it back in so that we can all move on with our lives at a reasonable time tonight.
And I hear rumors Brian Legend is in the Discord right now just dropping bombs like Firestorm.
Oh, really?
I don't know what the heck's going on. I got people DMing me right now. I'm trying to read these things. And
hey, well, go look it up. I'm going to bring a comment on here.
I took 2 screenshots, but that still doesn't tell me much.
And projects coming on the launch. So yeah, for Daylight, projects coming on the launch pad also pushes the Apollo price up.
Yeah.
You will not only get the 3.65 max payout in the end, but also the price appreciation of Apollo too. So
there's definitely some strategy there that I don't think anybody has figured out yet. So like what the comment disappeared is saying, you get 3.65x plus Apollo goes up. So you don't necessarily have to sell your Apollo once you get it.
Yeah.
Well,
so if it's going to keep going up in value, why would you sell it? Are you going to reinvest it back into Galaxy?
Yeah, if it's all seriously, that's like, I don't know. And Ted might have to think about this.
That's the crazy part is you never pull out. That's the genius in this because it just keeps recycling itself. You're never pulling it out.
Yeah, that's called like
there's going to be people who sell
Greek. That's for sure. Greek. Yeah. That's the
degen Greek way of thinking.
No, I was gonna say what's that called? Oh, my memory really ruins this comment. We're
gonna take a short break while he figures this out.
Here, I gotta
5 minutes later.
I gotta do some research, but it's basically the sexual practice where you keep.
I'm not sure where
I know the word you're looking for. I just can't think of it either.
I can't think of it, but nonetheless, Greek, don't pull out, don't withdraw, just hold
Raven's
on.
got a good point here. When you sell, it pushes the price up even more than buys. That's the crazy part about all this is selling actually pushes the price up.
Well, and if anybody watched my Apollo video, Greek, if you haven't, you better freaking watch my Apollo
you shared it all
video.
over my Discord, so I guess I should go watch it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
because here's the interesting thing with the Apollo thing. So when people buy, it's a logarithmic increase in price. When people transfer, it's linear. But when people sell, it's actual an exponential growth in price. So you actually want people to sell because the mechanisms that they have in place, the sell actually increases the price more, which...
So the longer you're in the galaxy and everybody starts pulling their money out, you're actually
and starts selling, you're actually gonna... It's a mind blower.
It's so different from pretty much any project I've ever seen in crypto. It's like almost upside down and backwards and inside out. What Ted really needs to do is create some use case where it makes sense for people to sell their Apollo.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, I want to hold on to it because it's going to go up, but I need to sell it because of XYZ. That's when you start getting that game theory element really play.
So the earlier you get in the galaxy, the sooner you get the max payout and the better price you get in Apollo. So it's a very interesting thing, right? Like, oh man, it's
fun though. Because unlike Drip, you don't have to worry about the price. Oh my gosh, I missed the boat now, and then the price is just gonna tank on me.
Well, I know. So that's the nice part, and it's even like, people were talking about, oh, you missed getting in Apollo at the beginning, but oh, you got in 5 days later, or like at 1.15, which it's at right now. But you literally get in right now. It can only go up in price, right? So if somebody buys Apollo today, before Apollo Galaxy is released, and then all these people get into Apollo Galaxy, the Apollo price is going to go up, right? And it's actually the same with Daylight, that the Apollo token and the Apollo Galaxy and the launch pads, right? It's all going to kind of feed back. So, true. Oh, here, let's see. True. But please start selling. Selling push. Yeah, exactly. Greek. Hey, Greek, let's do a test.
Oh, I ain't selling.
Sell it all, brother. Come on.
Raven, why don't you sell us your Apollo and we'll make sure the price moved up appropriately.
I lose money because I pay 16% in taxes and I'd be down money.
Well, you might not be there yet. I'm just going to say, hey, Kryptonian, I miss you too, man.
So some quick Brian Legend news.
Okay, let's get a little bit of this.
So he goes hashtag Vulcan blockchain, auto rebasing, auto staking, auto earning, fixed flex, auto deflation, fire pit, and now Firestorm. Who wants to know more? That's what he tweeted. And then somebody asked, I guess it's the Firestorm hint a few days ago, deliver it to us. He goes, just think, how would Brian use his skills to make Bitcoin's halving event that much better and utilize the concept of reducing vol supply, benefit Vulcan holders? So it's kind of like a having event.
Something
I don't know
to do with that. Yeah, well, that's an interesting one, right? Because look at how the Bitcoin halving affects the entire market. And not to say that Vulcan can do that, but if it can help the Vulcan side of it, right?
Yeah, I don't need it to. That's true.
Right. You don't need the whole market.
Of course, I got to read up more. I got to research. He's done a ton of comments now in Discord, but that's just some little snippets for you.
All right. Well, you know what, gentlemen? I'd say we look at wrapping this up pretty soon. What do you guys think?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Greek has some work to do. I personally, I've loved this, and I really everything's for Ted and the team made everything daylight very meticulously designed. Yeah, that's like almost the final comment is like I think they've really created something pretty special here, and I would like us to discuss this more as we go forward and everything, right? So
Exactly.
any final comments from Mayday?
Nothing specifically. I just want to say thank you guys both very much for having me on. This was the first time I've really done this sort of thing, so I didn't know what to expect going in, but I've had an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. Hopefully, if you do it in the future, I'll get an invite, but
You're a pro.
Yeah, man, you're perfect for this. And there's only one fault. You only have one fault, my brother.
What's that?
You gotta fill that beard in a little bit more,
It's getting a
and
little
then
gray on this. Which side is it? That side?
you'll be up in me and Greek land where we just have I don't even have hair on the top anymore. It just all went.
I know. Like you could see how much it's spinning
Okay,
through
well,
my
let's
head.
take the hats off then when I got the nice.
Yeah. Well,
look at that
honestly,
right there.
Greek, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, there it is. It's going.
So that's the difference is that
I'm more
Mayday's
evenly
Greek.
distributed. You guys are more of like a
Mayday still has hair on his head.
Yeah.
And that's but here's the thing, Mayday. I guess you're actually are you married, Mayday, if I may
am,
ask?
yeah.
Well, that's amazing because you don't have a full beard like me and Greek that just draws all the ladies in. I might not have hair on the top of my head, but my wife married me for this beard right here.
Yeah, my
She
friend
actually,
always looks at me and he goes, "How the heck does your beard keep growing, but your hair doesn't?" I'm like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, so yeah, honestly, Biz, I think we're gonna figure something out to do.
After my regular Tuesday night show, man, now they're trying to put more shows on me.
I know, right?
Oh,
You
well,
heard it here first. The Greeks
why
got
he's losing
Tuesday
his
night,
hair. There's too
Wednesday
much
nights,
stress.
Thursday nights,
We'll
Friday nights.
We'll make this your daylight night with me and Mayday and other special guests. But yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed this tonight.
It was fun. I enjoyed it too.
Greek thoughts?
Thoughts?
You're like, I can't think. I have a million messages hitting me about the firestorm, and
it's calmed down now.
How am I going to get back from the moon without all the crypto profits yet?
Yeah, everybody's gonna probably be like, "Greek, go live. We need to hear about this firestorm." Like, I know all the details yet. I know nothing.
Oh,
I just know snippets of what Brian said. It's yeah, I'm gonna relax the rest of the night. I'm probably gonna watch YouTube videos and who knows. Probably make some new merch for the merch store.
Well, we're gonna get
shameless plug again.
see Benedict on next time. Actually, I've actually been in touch with him. He's another guy. He's another daylight guy. He just made a really cool video. I would suggest. It's in the Discord. Check it out. It's kind of a cool little. Funny enough, I forget what the name of it is. It reminds me of Firestorm. Actually, did you watch it, Mayday?
He actually stole the idea from me. He and I went. Okay. So he lives local to me here in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
We went and had coffee last weekend, and we're talking about a couple of things we're going to work on together. And I said, you know what you should do is you should make a video where you take, because he's a big gun guy, and I was like, you should get some clay pigeons and put different coin logos on them and be like, and I'll hold them and throw them and be like, Benedict, what do you think about drip? And you throw it up and he's got his shotgun and he's like, I love it. Blam, blast it out of the sky. And he ended up taking that and modifying it a little bit, but
yeah, no,
he's a good guy. You should definitely have him on.
Well, yeah, we'll have him on next time. And Yeah. So, well, from me, thank you, everybody, all the listeners, for being on. And it's been awesome talking to you, Mayday, and talking to the Greek here and connecting again. It's been a while. And
yeah, I'm going to do more daylight stuff in the future. I've just been very busy, but now I'm going to go in so people in the Discord don't just think I'm the guy who comes in for prizes and stuff, because that's not me.
I was a little worried there for a little while.
Okay, yes, I did win the prize. I'm sorry. But yeah, I didn't only come in. I am an investor in the project. You know, I believe in the project just because I wasn't covering it. But yes.
I can't. Well, oh my goodness. Yeah. Nonetheless, I'm gonna tell Greek to finish this off and close it out. If you have, do you have any closing thing for the?
Yeah, I have a closing thing that's not branded. Well, it's branded with me, but not branded.
All right, well, let's do that, and then my people will be like, "What the fuck's going on?
Is that?
Who is this Greek guy?"
So, what I want to say to close it out is, just in a down market with everything chaos in the world, always stay true to yourself. Have your mindset set on the goals that you set for yourself. Always have faith in yourself. Trust your research, and we're all going to make it. Never fear, because the Greek is here.